As you may already know, gaming in general has evolved very much over the years. This by itself can be explained by a lot of different concepts such as better and more devices, better game engines, and I could probably go on and on about it. Gaming back in the days was a lot more simpler than what it is in today's society, since the tools and engines we have today were not as complicated as what it used to be back in things like the 1990s. Where the engines were not as colorized and kind of lackluster for the devs, you can't really blame them for this, to be fair, since it was the 90s and companies made their own video game engines which would easily cost a lot of money. This problem would be easier, however, with people making free usable game engines for others to use to make their own video games. Getting off that topic of game engines, as you may already know, a lot of the video games back then were on consoles. However, the first known mobile game being Tetris would spark a new beginning of what would be called mobile gaming. Mobile gaming, simply like you would assume, is just gaming on mobile devices. Obviously there would be some issues to this, since there would be this thing called lag with other phones, so game developers would have to make sure their games ran fresh on the mobile devices they would want to release them on. Mobile gaming has certainly changed around the years, and I think it'd be right to do so if I looked at the more nostalgic and classic mobile games a lot of us remember when we were growing up. Which is why in this video I will be discussing some classic mobile games, including some of my personal favorites from the earlier days. Let's start off with a game I think a lot of you guys know. Angry Birds is a game created by Rovio Entertainment that was released on December 10th, 2009 using the Box 2D engine. That is a physics-based puzzle game where you have a group of antagonists called pigs, and then the protagonist being, like you guessed, the birds that try and get their eggs back from the pigs stealing them. For the levels, you need to knock out all of the pigs shown in the design of the level using the slingshot to fly the birds into that, either hitting the pigs or getting the objects to hit the pigs with enough force. The amount of birds shown next to the slingshot is the number of chances you have left before it's a game over. Now, that's the only core mechanics of the game really. Heck, that's what the game was really in its initial release. This, until Rovio released more updates to the game, adding more levels and episodes, intro to some new birds, and more helpful features such as the Mighty Eagle and power-ups. This game back then became one of the most popular games the world had played at the time. Now, I'm saying all of this now, but a couple years later, the game slowly declined in popularity, and the theories behind this were that they were making cash cow apps based off of other popular games. Not to mention, they removed most games such as Epic, Bad Piggies, but got relisted after, the original game, Space, Star Wars, and a lot more. The only answer they really gave to why they did this was because it was a test, which assumed Rovio only cared about the money and not the past of these classic games. I could go more on about this theory, but there's a video detailing more on what happened to the franchise made by Mr. RetroGeek that I'll link in the description.
Fans wanted an answer from Rovio. Whilst Rovio didn't give an official answer, they did say on the Angry Birds YouTube channel they removed because they wanted to test something. Whilst we don't have an official answer to what the test was, we can only assume it was to see whether more people would download Angry Birds 2 and the newer games, showing that Rovio only cared about the money and not its past.
Should also be noted that Rovio hired a YouTube comment on one of their videos complaining about the hashtag BringBack2012 movement, which was a movement to bring back the classic Angry Birds games. It should also be mentioned that there's even ads for Angry Birds 2, similar to the popular mobile ads barely anyone even likes. If you ask me, these definitely are some very pathetic ads, and disappointing to say the least. Pretty sad to see such a classic game go downhill like this, potentially because the company was money hungry. The only thing I can hope is that the franchise can get better from this time on. Sonic Dash is an endless runner game developed by Hardlight and published by Sega, released on March 7th, 2013, being Hardlight's second Sonic game. The game allows you to play as Sonic while being able to unlock more through either being specific stages or collectibles or having them as in-app purchases. Like these usual endless runner games, the more you progress into the levels, the harder it gets, making it a more challenging but also fun experience. Let's also not forget about the great soundtrack for the game also. This game was even so popular to where it generated more revenue than the last 5 Sonic games combined, making over $11 million and over 450 million downloads. And these statistics are just from 2020, these numbers could already be surpassed by now. If that wasn't better enough, there's even a sequel to the game called Sonic-2 Sonic Boom that was soft launched to Android on July 1st, 2015 based on the Sonic Boom TV, which I actually didn't even know about until I was scripting this video. And if this wasn't enough already, there was another game similar to Sonic Dash called Sonic Forces Speed Battles that was a mobile version of Sonic Forces that was released in 2017. This would be based around competitive online multiplayer. This game definitely would do well, hitting over 1.3 million downloads in its first 2 weeks and 4.2 million USD in revenue. This was so good that Rick Cowley said the game was a lot of fun to play, though it's probably best off experienced in short bursts. Alright, gladly, I think we're done with the sequels now. Despicable Me Minion Rush is another endless runner game based off the movie, well, Despicable Me, a movie that was released in 2010. The game itself would come out on June 10th, 2013, developed and published by Gameloft. This game has changed a lot over the years it's been here. Originally, this game was just a game with costumes in a normal endless runner game. Another aspect that was fun, also in this, were the bosses, with there being Victor, Meena, Eduardo Perez or El Macho, and the villain Triloquois. For the Victor boss, Victor will fire some big drones at you where you need to swipe to different lanes to avoid these. After he throws a lot of these at you, he'll then fire some smaller drones, where you need to tap on the drones in order to throw them back at Victor to damage him, and it takes like 8 drones to defeat him. You can also jump over these drones, but I mean, what's that gonna do? The Meena boss battle is located in the resident location where she deploys these cookie robot things heading towards you, like how in the Victor boss he threw drones at you. After she does this a couple of times, she'll then try and ram you and you'll obviously need to go to a different lane than where she is trying to ram you. Then she'll deploy smaller versions of these cookie robots, and the same as the Victor boss where you need to tap on them in order to fight back at Meena. Can I just say that her voice sounds so petty?
Hey, I'm just out! I'm telling my mom.
Not directing at the voice actor for this though, just wanted to say that. The El Macho boss is located in the El Macho's lair location. For the boss, he'll bring rolling cages of these purple infected minions at you and you'll need to avoid them unless you want to get crushed. Then, he'll throw a chicken at you where you need to tap on them in order to throw it back at El Macho. I don't think this actually damages him or anything. The actual way to beat the boss is to just stay alive. Also the same way you beat the Meena boss. And finally, the villain Triloquois, gosh I still can't pronounce that name, is a boss found in the Super Silly Funland location added in the 1.8.0 update. He'll shoot out jackboxes as the projectiles, and then as the ones you can hit back, they're the same things but blue. He'll then sometimes fire a laser at you, which you either need to duck or jump over. Yeah, I kinda realized that these are kinda repetitive bosses. Another thing I should talk about is Time Attack. Time Attack is a sort of competition acting like one of those events where you have a time limit and you gain time by gaining near misses or hitting other people in the game you're playing in. You would need to complete the gates you're in before the time runs out, and then when the time runs out, well, the game ends. Then with this, you'll need to have the most gates in the online leaderboard in order to get better prizes. Sadly, this discontinued, I think, with events, like another thing I will talk about, that being the Jelly Lab. The Jelly Lab was added in update 2.0.0 back in around July 2014, where you needed to unlock levels by collecting at least one out of the 3 collectible fruits. Fruits can be obtained in levels by following the objective to get the specific fruit in. The Jelly Lab constantly had new levels coming in until it was discontinued in the 5.7.0 update, unfortunately. You needed to earn enough fruits in order to unlock different areas and progress through the Jelly Lab. It had 1098 levels and 76 different areas before it was discontinued. I'm not actually sure if you can access the Jelly Lab anymore, if I'm honest. There are also these special missions where you needed to collect specific items for the specific event to get better rewards, but there's not much to say about that besides some neat intros to them. Cut the Rope is another physics-based puzzle game released on October 4th, 2010, developed by a Russian company called Zeptolab. The game revolved around this main character, Omnom, which is an animal who needs to be fed candy. In episodes, those being called boxes, you'll need to get the candy into Omnom to win the level, with each level having 25 levels each. However, sometimes in levels, there's things that'll try and hurt your chances of doing so, such as spiders, spikes, and there's also objects in the game that can help you in ways. Most of what I'm talking about are introduced in new boxes that will come later in updates. There are as of now 17 boxes in the game, which are divided by 3 seasons. To unlock Season 2, you must complete the Season 1 boxes, and to unlock Season 3, you'll need to get free stars on all the boxes in both Season 1 and 2. Or you could just use in-app purchases, but I'm not that type of guy to use that. I wouldn't count on there being more boxes in the game since the last box, that being the mechanical box, was added in mid-2015 and I don't think there's been an update since then. Well, at least an update adding a new box. There's even a sequel to this game due to how popular the other game was, that being Cut the Rope 2. Cut the Rope 2 was released on December 19, 2013, being the official sequel of the original game. This game had the same goal like the original, but instead of there being boxes, it's locations. Most levels had their own challenges you could do whether you needed to meet a certain condition if you wanted to get what's called a medal. Oh yeah, I should also mention the backstory for this game. So loading up the game will bring the cutscene where Omnom is on a large pile of candy until it's slowly taken away by the spiders for their own on a hot air balloon. While Omnom is tied to the hot air balloon, Candy is slowly driven down to the various locations where Omnom meets some of his new friends in the game. Now I should also mention that there's plenty of other Cut the Rope games, but I simply don't have time to explain them all in this video, since they get less relevant sort of. I might make a video digging more into Cut the Rope, but we'll just have to wait and see. Fruit Ninja is a mobile game developed and released by Half-Brick Studios on April 21st, 2010, which actually means the 10th anniversary was only a year ago. Happy late birthday. Anyways, this game is an action game that used to cost money but is now 3. In the game you need to use your hand to swipe as a knife cutting down fruits you see in the game while avoiding to cut bombs, which cause a game over. Another thing that causes a game over is, of course, missing 3 fruits in total. This game consists of 3 main modes: Classic Mode, the initial version, Zen Mode, and Arcade Mode, which I'll get into in a bit. After completing a round, you can level up yourself and also collect Star Fruit, being able to unlock more things such as blades and other modes. In the aforementioned Zen Mode, which was a mode added in the 1.2.0 update, you have to slice as many fruit as you can in 90 seconds. There are no bombs in this mode. The arcade mode was added in the 1.5.0 update where you needed to slice as many fruit in 1 minute. However, you need to avoid the purple bombs since there are also Blitz, bonus bananas, a pomegranate at the end of the bonus stage, and also a dragon fruit at the end. Now, in case you don't know what any of these are, let me elaborate on some of them more. Bonus bananas are fruits that can be found in the arcade and Zen mode for the game. When you slice these specific bananas, they'll grant you a specific power. The Frenzy Banana will make fruit fly rapidly in the air for a short period of time. This might sound very counterintuitive to you, but this banana can actually help you gain more points and blitz if used correctly. The Double Score Banana will double the amount of points you get when slicing a banana for a short period of time. While this banana is active, the points will display as double in the HUD for the game. There's also an achievement for this banana where you need to slice only this banana, and this rewards 30 points at the end of the arcade or frenzy match. The Freeze Banana makes all the fruits and bombs slow down in a movement for a short amount of time. While this is active, if you happen to slice a bomb, then the power-up will just end instead of the game ending. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that frenzy thing I was talking about, it's just a Facebook thing for Fruit Ninja. Finally, the last words for this game also has a multiplayer where I'm pretty sure 2 other people use the same device to select fruits on their side, and it's the same objective really, besides you have to survive until your opponent gets 3 misses. The next thing I'll be speaking about is Temple Run. Now, I know some of my friends are going to be making jokes about me while watching this section, probably, so yeah, I'm ready for that. Anyways, getting on to the actual topic, Temple Run is an endless runner game developed and released by Amangi Studios on August 4th, 2001. In this game, you select a character you want to play, if you have it unlocked / purchased that is, and you run away from these demonic looking monkey things because the player obtained an ancient relic or something. It sounds really complicated, trust me. There's also a store in the game where the player can buy power-ups, utilities, and even wallpapers. Now, there's many power-ups in the game such as Mega Coins, Coin Magnet, Invincibility, Boost, and Coin Values. The Mega Coins simply give you extra coins depending on the level of the power-up. The Coin Magnet collects any nearby coins automatically, where the length of this power-up depends on the level. The Invincibility power makes the player immune to all objects for a period of time, and also fills in space for any gaps or holes while playing. When the player starts flashing, that signals that the power-up is about to end. The Boost power-up gives the character a boost forward by a specific distance. The game will control the player while the power-up is active, and they can also not die. The signal that the power-up is wearing out is the character slowing down. The distance of this will depend on the level for the power-up. Then, the Coin Values power-up changes the amount of value for the coins while playing. This power-up is automatically activated and can't be collected, and the amount of value the coins change depends on the level. The next thing this game offers is the utility part for the game. These are one-bought items you can buy at the store. The Resurrection Wings can be bought from the store with 500 coins and can be activated with a double tap while playing when the icon for the wing is visible. The Boost, after buying it for 2,500 coins in the shop, can be activated in the beginning and only the beginning by tapping the Boost icon. This will move the character 1,000 meters and will also make the character immune to any sort of obstacle or object while playing, and is also controlled by the game. And finally, the Mega Boost after buying it for 10,000 does the same as the Boost, however, it's simply longer, it does more distance. And now the final thing I want to say about this game is the wallpapers. You can buy wallpapers from the Temple Run store for 5,000 coins each, there being the Temple wallpaper, Evil Demon Monkey wallpaper, and also the Guy Dangerous wallpaper. And finally, the last game I want to talk about for this video is Baldi's Basics. Okay, no, I'm joking. Plants vs. Zombies. Plants vs. Zombies is a game released on May 5th, 2009, developed by PopCap Games. This game is a tower defense and strategy-based video game where you need to use plots to plant the plants so they can fight the towers to protect your lawn so you do not get your brains eaten by the zombies. There are many plants that can help you while doing this, and this game consists of 5 worlds that each have its own unique style to it. The first being day, the second being night, the third being pool, the fourth being fog, and finally the fifth being on the roof. Each one consists of 10 levels each, and some have their own unique gimmick to it. Oh yeah, I should also say that the soundtrack is pretty good to hear, especially the final boss. This game would then have a sequel called Plants vs. Zombies 2 It's About Time, released on July 9th, 2013. In this game, instead of there being an adventure mode, there are now worlds that contain a specific amount of levels you complete, with there being 11 worlds in the game. Each world is based on a different time period and has different zombies that do different things. Well, except for the modern day world. There's also such thing as Plants vs. Zombies 3 with a more modern looking design, but that's not fully released yet. There's even more Plants vs. Zombies games such as Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 1 and 2, Plants vs. Zombies Heroes. If you want to learn more about Plants vs. Zombies and its history, then I recommend you check out Mr. Retro Geek's video about the entire franchise, The History of Plants vs. Zombies, which I'll link in the description again. And finally, that's the end of it. Obviously, these aren't the only mobile games and franchises that most people would consider classic, but this is just a list of some of my favorites that I wanted to talk about in this video, and give some more detail on. Let me know in the comments of some mobile games that give you nostalgia. Finally, join my Discord server if you want to chill with me and others, and get updates on any new videos I'm working on. Follow me on Twitter if you want to see me post random stuff on there. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I hope I can see you in the next one.